As Christians, we are preserved by God for God. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. This is a new 5-part series. We're talking about love and selfishness, the central issue in the great controversy. So we're going to start looking at the first part to understand that Christians are providentially preserved. We are not preserved necessarily because of something within us. We are preserved because of the love that God has for us. And that's important. Before we get into it, we want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like the video. And please visit us online at changeministry.org, where there is so much more to build your faith. The idea of providence is the total opposite of luck. Luck is an idea that is really worldly. It is secular. It is even satanic, because if you think about that word luck, it actually comes from the root word lus or Lucifer. When things happen just randomly, that's not the life that we live when we've been saved by grace, because we've been made intentionally. We have been saved intentionally. And so we are preserved even intentionally. A word for that intention is God's providence, God's purpose. Knowing that we're living now in God's purpose, that doesn't end or change regardless of the circumstances. Even in times of trial, we are still being preserved for his sake. How do we know we're preserved? Well, for one, in Psalm 46, 1-2, as to the chief musician for the sons of Korah, a song upon Alamoth, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. There's a truth in verse 1 that is unconditional related to verse number 2. No matter what happens in the world, no even matter what happens to mountains, God is our very present help. He's our refuge, the one we run to, and he is our strength, the one who sustains us when we are tried. I hope we see the balance between refuge and strength. On the one hand, he's a refuge. How so? Well, look at the story over here in Isaiah 37. It's the story of when God delivers the people of Judah. King Hezekiah turns to God for help from the Assyrians, and the Lord comes and he says through his prophet Isaiah, I will defend this city to save it for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake. Then the angel of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. God says that he will save for his sake. In this circumstance, he's a refuge. Judah doesn't even have to fight. God fights for them. He's a refuge. For his sake, he preserves. But what about in a trial? What about when we are in battle? What about struggle? Well, go to Hebrews chapter 11. In Hebrews 11, is God still present? He's not just a refuge, but he's also strength that we can have in the midst of trial. In this instance, women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, that they might obtain a better resurrection. And others had trial of cruel mockings and scourgings, yea, moreover of bonds and imprisonment. They were stoned, they were sawn asunder, were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and caves of the earth. But is God still there? Yes, he's a refuge, but then he's also strength. Strength to endure, strength to be preserved in the midst of all these circumstances that we see here in Hebrews chapter 11. Times change, but God doesn't. His love doesn't, and his care does not. So whether or not he's a refuge to run to, or whether or not he's going to be that strength that acts like a buoy in the water, or that acts like an anvil amidst all of the hitting and all of the striking that's coming from a hammer and from a blacksmith, God is that strength. And incidentally, his strength is his grace. So no matter the circumstance, God is going to be a refuge, and or he's going to be your strength. This is the promise to those who are preserved.